Guys, it is a new year and it is a new me. Do y'all see this podcast mic I have right now? Crazy. Oh my gosh, it's been a while since we last talked. I'm in real time monitoring how I sound because if I don't know how I sound, I'll be so mad if I'm like hooting and hollering or not talking loud enough throughout this entire video. And while my energy is high, I don't want to have to refill. I'm going to try to do as little oh my gosh, as little stressing about this as possible because this is a new thing and we're not gonna, be mad at ourselves for trying new things and them not going perfectly. But hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Genesis. This channel is Genuinely Genesis, where I try to be genuine while being Genesis. So the year is 2026. Congratulations, we made it to another season of our lives. 2026 January has already been something. And if you're like me and you're trying to be whimsical while staying informed, it's already been a lot going on. It's been a lot going on. And I have a lot to say. And I've said enough on my TikTok and my Instagram stories. And I have to get out of the habit of just going to my stories and going on TikTok and neglecting this YouTube channel. So with 2026, Genesis will be more dedicated to her YouTube audience, and hopefully her audience from TikTok and Instagram comes over here. So all y'all need to co-mingle and cohabitate. But anyways, what is wrong with y'all? It's 2026. We've completed the first full year of this current administration and their new presidency. And I have a lot of complaints. I'm not going to talk about the complaints that I have about the administration because I'm not about to get arrested. I'm about to talk about my complaints that I have with some of the people, like the citizens of the United States, especially in how they're using their social media and how they're using their voices at this time, because some of y'all are speaking and I think y'all need to learn before y'all start speaking. And this is what I'm saying. So I've seen a lot of people say, oh, this is giving 1940s Germany right now. Why do we have to relate what a lot of black and brown people are going to what happened in European history for y'all to sympathize with what's going on? I think that's a problem, and that's bothering me in my Malcolm X painting in the back, because I have no issue with allyship and those with their privilege using their privilege to be an ally, but I think that y'all still don't get what being an ally means and fighting the good fight means, because y'all still relate what's happening to black and brown people predominantly, because white people are not getting snatched out of their homes. Let's be for real. What's happening to black and brown people? Why do you have to relate that to something that happened to white people or a majority of white people for y'all to start caring? And I noticed that with Renee Good. May she rest in peace. I'm just firing off because I wrote some notes about this. I'm doing this thing where instead of just like talking off the top of my head, I write it down first. Y'all are doing this thing with Renee Good where your language shows just how much you've been indoctrinated by American news sources and white supremacy about if it starts happening to white people, it's inhumane. And that's the problem. Keith Porter Jr. unfortunately also lost his life in 2026 due to some off-duty ICE agents, or ICE, whatever they're supposed to be, because they're kind of flopping at being agents. Agents are usually trained and know what they're doing. But anyway, that's besides the point. Keith Porter Jr. was also someone who lost his life to these ICE raids and just floods and waves of violence coming from this current administration. And he was a father, a black man, and he lost his life on New Year's Eve, I believe. Little to no coverage about that because, as the news does, black people are not taken seriously in life or in death. So there was not a lot of coverage. Renee Good, white woman, queer, family, white women in harm's way gets people's attention. So ICE protests, anti-ICE protests quadrupled before the day was even over, following her tragic murder. And the tone and the wording that I'm seeing from people, oh, ICE just started killing people. They've been killing people since 2025. Before that, even before ICE raids became a part of this administration, ICE has never not had blood on their hands. So for people to start caring because it started happening to a white woman, because now y'all realize that being white isn't your protection from this administration. Now y'all want to get y'all boots on the ground, and then y'all want me and the other 92% of people that told y'all to vote against this happening because we red. Now y'all want us to get off our couches and go into the streets and tear stuff up. Like, I just think that's insanely disrespectful. Not only to Renee Good and Keith Porter Jr.'s memory, but just disrespectful to the people who y'all claim to rally beside and be allies to, but your inaction is an act of violence. Let's break that down. So, in 2024, we had something called an election. And a lot of you guys who were so obviously and rightfully and justifiably upset about what was happening in Palestine, Congo, Sudan, Haiti, and other unnamed places where black and brown people usually inhabit. You guys were very outspoken about what black people should be doing when y'all usually do nothing. Oh, okay. When black people ask y'all to rally with us when our brothers and sisters are shot down in the streets, in their homes, at a playground, in a school, all those things, it's, well, what did they do? You guys just need to get over it, like blah, 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 blah. But when it happens to somebody that is not black, or doesn't have a direct connection to the atrocities that your ancestors have committed, y'all want to put all boots on the ground. That's what it is. Y'all want to atone for what has happened throughout history to black, indigenous, and Latino and brown people's bodies. Y'all want to atone for that by being allies to people overseas without taking accountability and doing the reconstructive work in the States. And that's the problem with allyship. White allyship. And if you feel offended with me specifying about white allyship, or even if you're not white, you don't have to be white to be under a ideology of white allyship, because this is a white supremacist culture and we live in America. I'm assuming I live in America, so I'm speaking from that perspective. It really bothers me that y'all go the extra mile to atone for the sins that y'all did at home. And it's just insanely crazy that during the last election round, you guys, to pledge your loyalty to what is happening to the people of Palestine specifically, you guys told a bunch of marginalized groups that are affected by these policies that are being enacted, to not vote, to take a stand against political policies, to take a stand on political policies by not involving themselves directly in politics by voting. Do you not see how tone deaf and harmful that is? That is white supremacy at play. It does not matter. It does not matter if that was not your intention. If you're not racist, if you have a black cousin, if you have a black boyfriend or partner, that is still racist. Because at the end of the day, black people and other people of color had to go through grandfather clauses, literacy tests, and literally being called not human before we got the right to vote. And voting is still being suppressed. So for you, in an act of allyship and acting like you know everything since you got your degree, you sat up here and you told a bunch of marginalized people, you tugged on their activism and you didn't activate that chip in their brain that makes them think. You tugged on those emotions, and you made them, well, you didn't make anybody do anything, but you led them to believe that by not voting at all or voting third party, which is crazy because a lot of third party ballot access is not in the states where a lot of black people reside. There is third party voting suppression. You told people to vote third party or not vote at all to combat political oppression. Because at the end of the day, this is politics. Palestine existing is political. Haiti existing is political. And y'all love to be like, oh, we the French really knew how to set off a revolution. Mind you, they still have reparations to pay to Haiti. Okay? They're still punishing Haiti to this day for revolting. So let's stop blowing smoke up the French people's butts. Like, y'all are really y'all just talk and say stuff and don't know what it means. And that's the problem. We sit up here on the internet all day. You're trying to stay informed, but you're not learning. You know something is going on, but you're not learning. You're not learning what's happening, how it's been systemically happening for the past 400 plus years of a nation's history. Or if we wanted to even keep it shorter, we're going to keep it to like 75, 250 years of this history, okay? Because America is only about to be 250 years old with her young self. And Israel, the state of Israel, has only existed since 1946, 1945. So this history that y'all could go back and relook at, it's still there. It's still there. Y'all could go and read that, learn about systems and how these things are enacted. Y'all want to have a moment so bad that y'all aren't looking at the system and how to either dismantle and rebuild that system or how to reform that system. And part of reforming systems is getting people into office, electing officials who policies you align with or whose identity you align with, getting those people into office so that things can change. Telling people not to be involved in political elections when their existence is political, whether you're LGBTQ+, whether you're disabled, or if you are neurodivergent, like, you're telling people whose existence is political in a white supremacist society not to involve themselves in politics. That is a problem. That is my problem with a lot of you. And I think until y'all understand just how harmful white supremacy is and how that system has been set up for the past 250 years and how it's been globalized and embedded in societies that are not predominantly white, that are inhabited by people of color, black, white, brown, other, until y'all can start to dismantle that and take accountability for that and start doing the work to reform and reconstruct that, y'all should not be sitting up here making yourselves the leaders of these highly political anti-white supremacist movements. That's what these things are. These are anti-white supremacist movements because we're calling out white supremacy for what it is, and we want it dismantled so that all people, black, white, or other, can have a better life. White supremacy does not even benefit all white people. Renee Good would still be here if white supremacy benefited all white people. But she was a woman, and she was queer. And she was a mother. So come on now. Like, if white supremacy really did what it was supposed to do as it was designed to do, when all of those old white men thought of white supremacy and they said, yeah, that's good. That's a good thing to found our nation on. If it was actually for the supremacy of all white people, it would work for all white people, and it doesn't. It does not. I didn't even look at my notebook once. I think I'm cooking, chat. Like, I don't know. Y'all need to subscribe for more videos like these. I need feedback and response. I'm from a call and response culture. I grew up in a black church. And that's just the type of person I am. I would like y'all's feedback on these thoughts and things like that. Because if y'all not responding, who am I talking to? I ain't talking to Malcolm back there. So yeah, that's my issue with a lot of the activism that I'm seeing specifically online, because there are people who actually do activism work in communities, and they still might also have these blind spots. And those conversations are had in safe spaces where everybody's kind of like on equal footing. Everybody has kind of like the same educational background or familiarity because they're from the same communities and things like that. But this is just me talking to the people online that are sitting up here saying we're not mad enough. We've been mad. We've been mad. We've been mad during Black Lives Matter. We've been mad during the Civil Rights Movement. We've been upset. The LA riots. Like, we've been upset. We've been upset. We've been telling y'all, but y'all don't listen to us. Y'all don't listen unless it's somebody white. And just like I said earlier in the video, unless you can relate it to whiteness in some way, you don't care. Because why, when black people and brown people have been saying for decades, for centuries, that America is an issue, there's an issue with America, y'all want to relate it to 1930s and 40s Germany. Mind you, Germany was inspired by America. All of y'all sitting up here acting like some historians, but y'all being slow. That's so crazy to me. I literally took a class on 1930s Germany and the Holocaust. Y'all don't be going to school and y'all don't be paying attention, and it shows. Like, that is just so crazy to me. So saying that y'all aren't mad enough, no, y'all aren't mad enough. Y'all still don't believe that this is going to happen to everybody. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latino, other. If you're not a heterosexual male, cisgender, and you're not a billionaire, you're not in that top 1 to 10%, this is going to happen to us. Okay? Y'all sitting over here making edits, cutting real life in Hunger Games. Where is Katniss Everdeen? Okay? Elect one of your Katniss Everdeens to rise up from that neighborhood you're from and go storm the Capitol and President Snow and all them. Y'all sit up here and fantasize revolution so bad, but you don't actually want one. Y'all fantasize revolution so bad. Y'all love dystopian novels and YA novels and all that stuff. Divergent. All them other ones, Hunger Games, all of that. Y'all fantasize about that stuff. Y'all use media, which is based off of real life things, to call out what's happening, but then y'all don't do anything. Tie that hair up in a braid, get the bow and arrow, and get in the streets. Okay? So when y'all say we aren't mad enough, and then y'all stare at black people and brown people to jump in when we've been asking y'all to band together with us when we're calling out the oppression of this system, when y'all say we aren't mad enough, no, we are not mad enough because we're tired. We've been mad. We got generational trauma of mad. Generational trauma of fed up. We've been mad. We're at that point where we're just sitting back and being like, well, that's y'all battle to fight now, because y'all don't listen to black people. Y'all don't listen to black people, and y'all don't listen to anybody that's not white. Anybody that you can't relate to in any way, shape, or form, especially if their color is not the same hue as yours, you're not listening to them. And that's the problem. This is why we're not going to get ahead. Why would I sit up here and fight with somebody that doesn't still see my humanity? Why am I getting out in the streets, standing with y'all, and you still don't see me as a person? And you still voted against my rights. That's crazy. You voted against my rights and yours. Double whammy. But I know that I'm gonna be all right. Okay, y'all need to be all right, and y'all can't be all right unless y'all have a black or brown person also putting their body on the line, and that bothers me a lot. And I'm just sitting with this microphone in my hand to call out those. It's just wrong. I don't like it, and I'm seeing a lot of it, and it's only January 2026. And a lot of y'all are like, oh, we only got 3 more years left of this. Do y'all read at all? Like, there are politicians, economists, and every other, like, legitimate professionals with doctorates, with those letters, those extra letters behind their names, that say we might not even have another election. Okay? This is a life or death situation. And a lot of us have lived lives fearful of death every day. That at this point, we're so tired of y'all finally getting the point when it happens to y'all, and y'all are too late, and we are tired. We've used all of our energy. We have to fight for our lives every single day. Many of us to varying degrees, because my black experience in America is totally different from somebody else's that also may be black and in America, but a lot of our experiences intersect because of either our geographical location or because of our intersectional identities. But black people, the people who were enslaved, whose ancestors were enslaved to build this country, them telling you what it takes to let this institution fall and what needs to happen to be reformed. Those who acknowledge the history, because not every black person sitting up there actually knows what they're talking about or knows what they're doing. Some of them are actually coons. But anyways, some of these black people that have been educated in black history, American history, sociology, psychology, the economy, law, all of those things, they've been saying what to do to prevent what is happening now, and y'all don't get it until it comes to your doorstep. And I mean that literally, because they're going door to door now. Well, they might not be coming to yours, because they're coming to black and brown people's doors. So y'all relating it to 1930s Germany is still not accurate, because they're going after black and brown people. Because people don't believe that white people are also immigrants. All of y'all ain't from here. Y'all weren't from here in the first place. What about... Anyways, this is like just my call to y'all, like, being for real. I need y'all to be so freaking for real. Until white people start recognizing the part that they play in the oppression of others, and until y'all seriously want to take a stand before it gets to your doorstep, I don't take y'all seriously. This is me officially throwing in the towel. On a public platform. I can't save nobody that don't want to be saved. Okay? Okay? Okay. Okay. I just want y'all to get that. So no more we aren't mad enough. No. Black and brown people have always been mad enough. Y'all are never mad enough. And unfortunately, I hate to say that, it's gonna take more Renee Goods before y'all really get mad enough, unfortunately. That's not even me wishing death on people. That's just me recognizing the pattern. It had to take over 20,000 Palestinian lives for y'all to get mad enough. It had to take genocide and mass destruction for y'all to get it. It had to take imperialism and bombings in Venezuela for y'all to get it. It had to take what's happening in Iran for y'all to get it. It takes the generational history of white supremacy doing what it does best, being destructive, imperializing, colonizing, occupying, and destroying for y'all to get it. Until we actually start playing in the Hunger Games, I fear that's when y'all will really get it. Or maybe y'all won't, because they're slowly trying to... this administration is actually trying to pretend like there's nothing wrong. And y'all are falling for it. All I can do is sit up here in front of this microphone on my bed, in my bedroom, with Malcolm X looking over me, telling y'all how I feel. Okay? So, if y'all want to hear more of my thoughts and my feelings, y'all need to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and all that. I do have a Bird app account Not the new bird, not the new yeah. I do have a I was about to say not the new bird app. That's a butterfly. On the former bird app, I do have an account on there. I'm gonna put the my user on the screen. I really just kind of rant and repost stuff, and so I could keep up with movies and film. That's kind of what I use it for now. I said I wasn't on the app anymore, but then some just keep pulling me back, and I do have friends on there, so I came back for them, my community. So, anyways, thank you for coming to my Genesis talk, not a TED talk, because who's that random white man? Um, I hope you stay blessed, stay informed, stay whimsical, and stay safe out here. Peace.